The Mysteries of Villa Alegre. In a charming and quiet village called Villa Alegre, located in the middle of green hills and crystalline rivers, lived four inseparable friends: Lucas, a curious and brave boy; Sofia, an intelligent and creative girl; Matteo, an adventurous boy and lover of puzzles; and Valentina, a little girl full of energy and will. Each summer our friends were eagerly waiting to meet up and set out on a long journey to the main river of the village. A small beach next to a pier awaited them to enjoy a few days of camping with laughter, anecdotes, dips, and friendship. Nothing made them suspect the great story they would live in this opportunity. It was a warm summer day. While they loaded their backpacks with everything they needed for the trip, Lucas told the others that he heard something intriguing when some old villagers were talking in the square near his house. Lucas managed to hear about an ancient legend. It spoke about a map hidden deep in the forest that contained information about a great hidden treasure. It showed unknown and mysterious places inside the forest, and that the elders regretted not having the vitality to be able to discover if this legend was true. With sparkles in his eyes, Lucas commented that this would be a great opportunity to have a summer unlike any they had ever experienced, and proposed to his friends to go in search of the intriguing hidden map. Sofia, Matteo and Valentina were amazed by this fascinating story. Although fearful of the new challenge, they looked at each other with a big smile, accepting with great happiness to undertake this new adventure. The only piece of information that Lucas could get from the talk was that the only inhabitant of the village to get close to the secret place was Luis, the old librarian of the school. With this information, they all mounted their bicycles and rode at full speed towards the librarian's house. Amazed by the visit, Luis welcomed the children, who, without waiting, asked the librarian if the story of the map was real. Doubting if it was right to tell the truth, Luis could not contain himself. Seeing so much expectation on the children's faces, he went to the attic and took out a very blurry piece of paper among some old books, where he could see some indications. Luis told that when he was a little boy, the same story reached his ears, and that after several attempts, he managed to find certain marks on some trees that brought him closer to a very secluded spot in the forest. But he was only able to get there, and tired from so many attempts, he decided to end the search, writing down the points on a piece of paper. Lucas, Sofia, Matteo and Valentina could not believe that in their hands they had the starting point of a real adventure full of mystery and challenges. Without thinking twice, they decided to embark on the treasure hunt and live an authentic experience worthy of a movie. Thanking Luis for his help, the children said goodbye and quickly mounted their bicycles and headed for the forest. Entering by the path they always took and knew, they set out on their adventure, which after a few hours led them to find the first mark explained on the paper handed out by the librarian. There they came across a deviation from the path they had never paid attention to before. Determined to continue, they took the mysterious path into the unknown. Along the way they found the marks indicated by Luis. Arriving at the last point indicated, the sun was already beginning to set, and they decided to camp and spend the night there. With great fatigue, they slept in the tranquility of the forest, illuminated by a large moon and a small campfire. In the morning, our friends had a quick breakfast, eager to continue this great challenge. Having no more clues on paper, they decided to continue along the path visible on the ground, remembering the last piece of information indicated by the librarian. According to the legend, the map would be found in a chest buried under the tallest, largest and oldest tree in the forest, and which would have very strange shaped leaves of a purple color. The friends anxiously searched for this tree, and for hours, they continued walking, without their bicycles, because of the lushness of the forest. The group's spirits began to drop as they had no results in the search, and the idea of adventure began to fade. Seeing this, Valentina encouraged everyone to continue, and commented that they could not give up just like that, after all the journey they had made. Suddenly Sofia surprised everyone with a great idea. She proposed that they all help each other to climb the trees to see the tallest and most distinctive tree in the forest. With joy on their faces, they helped Lucas to climb, and quickly managed to get to a good point where they could see the whole forest more clearly. With great joy and relief, Lucas shouted, there he is, we have found him and he is very close." Everyone jumped with happiness and began to run. Already out of breath, they managed to reach the big tree, which had the strangest and most beautiful leaves they had ever seen in their lives. The color and brightness were dazzling. The four friends began to dig, and after a few minutes, Matteo stumbled upon something. It's here," he shouted. They all helped clear the ground and managed to spot a small chest covered in shiny ornaments. Everyone was shouting, jumping, hugging and laughing. They had managed to discover something that was only believed to be a legend. Now they were part of a great story, which was just beginning. Anxiously they opened the chest, and there was the long-awaited map. They took it very carefully so that it would not be damaged. Without waiting, Lucas began to inspect the map, and his face did not stop radiating great amazement. The map showed places inside the forest never before imagined, and to everyone's surprise, it did not have accurate information on where to find the treasure. Instead, there were a series of challenges, riddles and hidden clues that would lead them to surprising places in the forest. Together, they would begin an exciting journey, solving ingenious riddles, following the signs on the map and unraveling the secrets that Villa Alegre had in store for them. Lucas began to read the inscriptions on the map and everyone listened attentively to the directions. Lucas read aloud saying, "These are the challenges and points that we must visit and overcome to finally find the great treasure of Villa Alegre. The Echo Cave, it is a hidden cave on a hill near the village. Deciphering its hidden riddles will open the doors to the treasure hunt. The Enchanted Garden, a secret garden hidden behind a maze of vines. Each flower and plant in this garden emits a particular glow. The Butterfly Trail, a path lined with tall, leafy trees that is covered by a cascade of multicolored butterflies. It is believed that this path leads to a magical and unknown place, but only those with pure hearts and a special connection to nature can find their destination. The mysterious clock, in the center of the village stands an ancient tower clock. But this clock not only tells the time, it also keeps secrets. On special occasions, such as the night of the full moon, the hands of the clock move by themselves and point to a place in the mountains, where a hidden secret can be found. The Fountain of Wishes, a beautiful fountain located in the heart of the mountain. It is said that if you throw a special stone and make a wish with all your heart, wishes come true. Night was falling, and once again the friends set up their tents to sleep peacefully under the big tree. With the first rays of the sun, determined to continue, they all concentrated on the directions on the map to reach the first challenge. After walking for a while, they arrived at the Echo Cave. As soon as they entered, they found some torches that would serve to light the way. Fearful, our friends began to enter the cave. Lucas took the initiative and found a wall full of ancient hieroglyphs. Using his ability to decipher enigmas, he discovered that the symbols represented a sequence of movements that he had to perform to unlock the next step in the treasure hunt. Reaching what appeared to be the end of the cave, a wall blocked the passage. But after removing some of the dust, Lucas once again deciphered some signs, and performing the movements he had discovered, he managed to open what was really a door. Happy, they continued along the dark path exploring the cave. Suddenly, Sophia found a shimmering pool in the center of what looked like a room. As she approached, she saw her own reflection and realized that she could communicate with her mirror image. The reflection gave her cryptic clues as to which paths to take inside the cave and gave her encouragement to keep moving forward. Following Sophia's directions, they continued walking. Matteo, intrigued by the mysterious murmurs heard in one section of the cave, followed the sound and came to a small hidden waterfall. He discovered that each drop of water that fell had a different musical tone, and by playing a specific melody using the drops of water, he was able to open a new secret door. As they continued, the path began to become more illuminated. After a few minutes, they reached a secret room that was illuminated by glowing crystals. Each crystal emitted a different colored light and had a unique power. To advance, they combined the powers of the crystals in a specific pattern, with which they illuminated and opened a lock on the wall, creating a dazzling light show and unlocking the last stage of the cave. Once they made it out of the cave, our friends again found themselves in the forest and a path that revealed a large portal filled with vines. Lucas, Sophia, Matteo and Valentina went through the ancient portal that would lead them into a long labyrinth. As they walked through its corridors, they lost their sense of direction, and the paths brought them back to the starting point. Suddenly, Valentina began to smell some special fragrances, and guided by these aromas, she led her friends to a new point in the labyrinth. Unable to get out of their amazement, they arrived at the great center of the labyrinth and were greeted by a garden in an explosion of colors and intoxicating fragrances that filled the air. The garden was filled with exotic flowers and extraordinary plants. Each plant had unique shapes and sizes, and their petals glowed with vibrant colors, creating a dazzling visual spectacle. Everyone wandered among the meandering paths and explored the diversity of species, which seemed to come from a fantasy world. As they walked through the garden, they discovered that some of the flowers had magical properties. When they touched a particular flower, it gave off a soft light that illuminated the surroundings, revealing hidden messages along the way. Other flowers had special scents that awakened memories and emotions in the boys, helping them to reveal important details for the treasure hunt. As they progressed, they found a section of the garden where plants seemed to move on their own. Discovering that these plants, they had flexible roots and stems that responded to touch and moved in graceful patterns. Everyone was intrigued and realized that they must follow the dance of the plants to unlock a secret path to the next challenge. As they continued to explore the garden, our friends decided to take a break. Their legs were weak and they needed to replenish their energy. They were all resting, but a flower caught Mateo's attention. He approached to see it, and when he touched it, it gave off a glow that was repeated in a row of these flowers, marking a path that would lead them to the exit of the labyrinth. As they emerged from this challenge, through interaction with the flowers and plants, they all learned to observe details, trust their instincts, and appreciate the beauty and magic of the nature around them. This enchanted garden became a place of wonder and discovery for the friends, giving them the opportunity to grow in their journey and connect with nature in a special way. As they progressed, the friends learned valuable lessons about perseverance, intuition, and the importance of staying in tune with the natural world. Certain flowers were still leading the way, so Lucas thought it would be good to follow them and point them in the right direction. They happily decided to go along with the idea and continued on. By the time the flowers finished their path, they could not believe their eyes. A huge waterfall full of butterflies was beautifying the place. They all came closer to see, and the butterflies began to surround them. They were flying and doing a dance, which made them move. Soon they realized that the butterflies were leading them in one direction. They let themselves be led by them and stopped at a point where they found some binoculars with colored lenses. They took them and let themselves be led by the butterflies again until they climbed a small hill where they could see the whole village in its fullness. It was a good spot to pause their journey, so they opened their tents, lit a fire, and began to review the map. As they inspected the binocular, they noticed a compartment, from which they pulled out a small piece of paper with directions. It indicated how to use the binoculars to see something secret in the old clock, located in the central tower of the town. Sophia remembered that the map explained that, on nights with a full moon, the clock would show a secret place. Luckily, that night the moon seemed fuller than ever. So Lucas took the binoculars and focused his gaze on the clock tower. Amazed, he discovered how a beam of light indicated a point on the mountain, and putting his gaze on the map, the moon made a point shine where it indicated the next and last challenge of the journey. He quickly marked it with a pencil, and everyone spent a happy night of rest with much eagerness to continue in the morning. The next day, Valentina woke everyone up. They broke camp and set out on their last challenge in search of the Fountain of Wishes. Map in hand, they headed towards their objective, crossed the end of the forest, and began to climb the mountain that hid this marvelous fountain. With great effort and determination, they climbed up to one of the mountain peaks. They were able to make out a valley, and descending with speed, they arrived at a small stone fountain where the water of a stream came from. Remembering what the map indicated, each one looked for a stone that was special to him or her. With the stones in their hands, one at a time, they threw the stones into the fountain, asking for their wishes. To their surprise, they did not get any results. They all stopped to think about how to solve the challenge, and Sophia thought it would be best if they all wished at the same time to find the final path to the treasure. so they all threw their stone at the same time. Suddenly the water of the stream diverted its course and the fountain emptied completely, revealing a large carved stone inside. This carved stone indicated that the end of the journey had arrived, and congratulated the explorers for solving the challenges, and that the treasure was already inside each one of them. They all quickly understood what the treasure was and the objective of this mysterious and challenging mission. On their journey, the four friends learned valuable lessons. They discovered the importance of friendship and teamwork, sharing laughter and supporting each other every step of the way. They also learned about the importance of patience and perseverance, facing challenges that seemed impossible to overcome and finding creative solutions. They discovered the importance of protecting and maintaining the place where they lived and respecting all the beings that inhabited it. The story of the four friends and their search for the treasure became a legend that lasted for generations in Villa Alegre. The inhabitants of the village would always remember with affection the audacity and spirit of adventure of these four brave friends. Every time they looked back, they were inspired by the friendship, generosity, and positive impact they had left on their community. Lucas, Sofia, Matteo, and Valentina realized that true treasures are not only made up of material wealth, making Villa Alegre an even more magical place. The end.